Record.
Okay.
We'll call order this joint review board annual meeting at the Town of Lisbon Town Hall on August 23rd, 2021 at 5 p.m. Can you do a roll call? Joe Osterman, Town of Lisbon Chairman.
Matt Gerke, the potential public member.
Shelley Riley, Hamilton School District.
And then a couple we have on Zoom. Oh, can't hear them.
I'm Jane Kittle from Waukesha County Technical College.
Hi, Jane. And
Andy, we couldn't hear you.
Do you have Andy on?
Yeah, he's there. He's having mic problems.
Yep, you're unmuted, but
We could use the chat, perhaps. If there is one.
shows he's muted.
no, it shows he's unmuted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I heard him earlier. Plain as day.
Oh,
He's gonna log out, log
He's
back,
gonna-
log back.
He's gonna leave and come back in.
Yep, that's okay.
Thank you.
Right?
We use sign language for that stuff,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Perfect,
Perfectly.
perfect.
Don't know why, but I'm here now.
Great. Right. Item 2 is appointments as needed. We have A, the public member. I make a motion to appoint Matt Gerke as the public member for the Town of Lisbon. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Andy. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. And item B is electing a chairperson.
I nominate the Town of Lisbon Chairman, Joe Osterman, as the chairperson.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second that. Jane Kittle at WCTC.
Jane Kittle seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimous. Thank you. Item 3 is review of the annual PE 300 report and performance and status of A, the tax incremental district number 1.
Okay, great.
John?
Thank you very much and good afternoon, everybody. I'm John Cameron with Ellers. And we've got the put together the annual report for tax increment district number 1. So what I'll do is just kind of walk through the report at somewhat of a high level. I will spare you the actual PE 300 report portion of the report itself. You can go through that at your leisure. But this is the first year that the district has had to complete the annual reporting process. So TIF district number 1 was created at the end of November in 2018 as a mixed use district. The district has not been amended to date. Mixed use districts have a 20-year maximum life under state statute with an expenditure period that ends 5 years earlier than the maximum life. So the expenditure period in this case would be November 26th of 2033 and the mandatory termination date of November 26, 2039. The base value of the district was or is $899,100. The incremental value as of January 1st, 2020 was a little over $1.1 million. The fund balance, the year-end fund balance as of the end of 2020 was negative $1,939,922. The projected closure date, based on the most current cash flow analysis of the district, is 2034, which is actually a few years better than the original projected closure date of 2037 at the time the district project plan was approved and the district was actually created. So just a few notes on this page before going into the actual cash flow. In early 2021, in February of 2021, the town issued a little over $3.3 million of taxable general obligation notes for two purposes. One, to reimburse itself for prior infrastructure costs. So you'll see that reflected in the cash flow analysis. We had a large negative balance at the end of 2020. We'll see that, largely reverse itself here, or we would hope to see that in the next year's audit with the 2021 borrowing, as well as to pay for road and stormwater project costs within the district itself. So the map of the district is on the larger fold-out page. I think, for the most part, folks are kind of familiar with this area. I would hope the school district definitely would be, since it goes right through the high school, middle school grounds. But just looking at the map itself, kind of walking from left to right, we have Silver Spring Drive on the far southern boundary of the district, with Town Line Road running on the east side, with Main Street coming up on the north end of the district boundary. The property on the north end of the boundary is referred to as the Leeds property, Leeds Nursery. For those who are familiar, closed many years ago, and really the impetus of the district was driven by the need to kind of redevelop the Leeds property site. For by and large, there was also some areas on the corner of Silver Spring that Casey's is now in, that also were included within the tax increment district, as well as some other areas along Town Line Road that are slated potentially for development or redevelopment, possibly within the district's life. So that was kind of the driver of the district boundaries. If you go to the next page shows the tax increment worksheet projection. So it's got the applicable information on the district creation life, type of district, and last year of increment life. The value that was added in 2019 is predominantly Casey's, as well as I think a little bit of hangover going into 2020. The values going forward are projected in 2021 is the minimum value that is listed in the development agreement with Wyckoff, which is the building that is going up along along Main Street. And then the values going forward are prospective in nature, but I'm going to kind of turn it over to the town administrator to just kind of give an update on the construction project and any applicable development projections you're able to talk about.
Okay, so we keep calling this this business park Leeds, but we actually went ahead and named the business park as Lisbon Business Park East. The water main has been completed, will be completed and tested this week. We'll bring the water in down Main Street into the business park and to the property line that we share with Hamilton. All the rest of the main water and sewer lines are already in the park, both in the commercial and commercial area or the industrial area. The road, Richard Road will be, is in, but the final lift will be put on in the first part of September. We have Wyckoff in right now, and we are in talks with another couple of vendors in the industrial park, or another couple of buildings in the industrial park. We're in the middle of a traffic study for the commercial part, and once that's done, like I said, we're in the middle of some talks. We have 5 companies that are interested in properties in the site. I believe that if we close on and button them down at the end of this year, by the time they're all built out, that'll bring in an increment of another 25 million. It still leaves the industrial part would be complete, but the commercial area would still have some land available for further build out. And we are going to, once the traffic study is done at the end of this year, we're planning on going out to bid for the last road, Leeds Lane. And we just have to wait until the traffic study is done because we're asking for an exit on Main Street as well as on Town Line. But the one large manufacturing company that we're in talks with will bring 250 jobs, and they would really like to work with Hamilton School District in their building and trades because it's a manufacturing company. So really looking forward to this next year.
Great. I'll pause there maybe to see if anybody has any questions before we go into the cash flow analysis.
Any questions from anyone?
No.
Shaking heads.
No, I have no questions.
Good.
Sounds good. You go to the cash flow analysis, kind of the second fold out page in the packet. I'll walk from left to right here. So we've got our revenues coming into the tax increment district on the left-hand side, and the columns in green, if you have it printed in color or have it handy in color. The sections in the middle are the expenses going out, which is primarily the debt obligation that was that I referenced at the beginning here, as well as the reimbursement of the cost for the land interceptor. And then our cash balance on the far right-hand side of the page. And we've got both an annual and a cumulative balance, and then comparing it against the total amount of principal outstanding within the district. So just to kind of walk through this here, we've got our tax increment revenue coming in on the first column. So for those, I think most everybody here is familiar with tax incremental finance, but there's always a 2-year lag from the time that development actually takes place to the time that we actually get tax increment revenue coming in the door. So Casey's was the first one in the door with this particular district. So the first year that we see increment revenue is this year. And then we project that going forward based on the development projections that were just shown in the previous page. We've got our bond proceeds coming in 2021. These were issued as notes. So we do anticipate refinancing these notes in 2031, potentially a year or two earlier if interest rates are favorable. But we've got those being refinanced, or at least the last principal payment being refinanced in 2031. We also have shown in here a developer payment from Wyckoff, which is the industrial building that is going up along Main Street. Per the terms of the development agreement, they pledged to make a pilot payment starting on January 1st, 2022, based on a minimum assessed value of 5.4 million. That building will be in existence then, but it will not have an actual tax payment going out at the end of 21 yet at that full value. So it is anticipated that that developer payment will be needed here in 2022. From an expense standpoint, we've got an interest payment coming up next year, and then principal on the debt that was taken out in February of this year starts in 2023. And then, like I said, we're refinancing it here in 2031. So from a cumulative cash balance standpoint, we do project at the end of 21 a slight, well, not slight, but we project a negative balance of 290,000 based on the current projections of development and assuming the tax rate stays flat, which we know it won't. But assuming no inflation, incremental value on cases or change in the tax rate, we would project that the cumulative balance would turn positive starting in 2025. And really the point in which we have a cumulative balance that exceeds our principal outstanding would be in 2034. So that would be really the point where, at least as it stands right now, the district would be closed and we'd have some positive cumulative balance left over after we pay off the remaining principal balance. Any questions on that?
I do not, no.
Not either.
I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Thank you, John.
Sure.
All right. With no questions, I'll move on to item 4, which looking for a motion to approve the resolution acknowledging filing of annual report in compliance with annual meeting requirement.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Motion made by Matt Gerke. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Alan? Andy? Sorry.
Yep.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 5 is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Motion is moved.
And that motion,
Adjourn. You second, Jane?
yes.
No discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're out at 5:17. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
nice day.
you.
The resolution.